Hello, everyone, and welcome to EDUC 407's week number 7. Can you believe that we're over 75% of the way through? Okay, so just as a reminder, if you're missing any assignments, get those turned in. I believe by the 13th is the last time you can turn in anything. So if you are missing anything, at least to get some partial credit, make sure you get it in by that time. Let's get into this week's assignments. You got a couple easy ones, and then you have one that will take you a little bit of time. So I want to make sure you have plenty of time to get started. Okay, so our week 7 assignments, we have 3 of them this week. One is a discussion board post regarding remote learning spaces. The second one is another portion of your book study template, which is slide number 6. And you'll also do a discussion board post to go along with that. And your last one, the big one, is to create your own Google Classroom and kind of a unit within Google Classroom based on what we've done before, just to use technology. Just a reminder that all of these week's assignments are going to be due on the 6th of October. Our last day of class is the 13th of October. And our last in-class meeting is going to be this Thursday at 5 p.m. So make sure you show up so that way we can take care of anything going into the final week of class. Again, we want to make sure everything's all taken care of so you have nothing to worry about and we're all set. Okay? With that being said, let's get started on the assignments. The first one is regarding remote learning spaces. Okay, so you're going to look at 3 links regarding remote or distance learning. Considering we did this during COVID, this is something to always consider because you never know what could happen. Not to mention we do have students who do not do well in school and sometimes they do need distance learning or remote learning. Make sure you post on the discussion board 5 tips for remote or distance learning that you feel are important for every teacher. And then you're going to respond to 2 other classmates before the end of the week. And as we finish, for the most part, distance learning, take your own experiences into account when thinking of tips. Not just from the articles, but what do you feel is the most important thing? So that way we kind of all discuss it, because if it were to ever happen again, we want to make sure we're as prepared as possible. Our second assignment goes back to your book study template. Make sure you're reading chapters 7 and 8 and complete slide 6 on your template. Okay. Once you finish slide 6, again, you're not turning that in until the next week, week 8, but at least you'll have that done. And then you're going to go to the discussion board and write a post about the questions from slide 6. How would you answer them? And you need to respond to 2 other classmates' posts before Sunday, October 6th. So hopefully, not really large assignments that you have to do those first 2. You should hopefully be able to get those done relatively easy. The last assignment, and this might take you a little bit of time. What you're going to do is create a Google Classroom. So make sure, it should say Brightspace, and I'm going to change that right now. Forgot to see that. Make sure you go onto Brightspace and you look for the instructions on how to set up your Google Classroom account. Okay, you want to make sure you set it up as a teacher. You're going to be putting these things into a class, kind of an introduction or hook to the lesson. Lesson video, which again, you did one already, so there's no need to recreate it unless you want to. You're more than welcome to. An activity related to the lesson, some sort of assessment or quiz, like a Google quiz that you've already made, that you could use there, and then some sort of extension or final activity to kind of bring it all together. Just as a reminder, you will not be able to share your Google Classroom with me no matter what. So what you'll need to do is create a screen share of your Google Classroom. So you'll go into Google Classroom, you'll do some sort of screen share where I can see it. And you kind of tell me, okay, this is my introduction, this is my lesson video. You don't have to show me the lesson video. I should be able to see it. Activity, assessment, and extension or final activity. Okay, so you just want to make sure you have that in there. You do that in a screen, you screen share it or make that video. And as long as you do that and submit that video, then you're perfectly fine. Submit the link so I can see it, or you can even submit the whole video itself if you want to, because I know Brightspace is a little weird on that. So let's look into the assignments inside Blackboard, or not Blackboard, Brightspace, sorry. Again, this video will be right here in week 7. For remote learning spaces, we have how to organize assignments in Google Classroom, an article from Caitlin Tucker, Online Learning, Edutopia, Making Distance Learning Better. And this is where you'll have that discussion board. Okay. Again, 5 tips for making it better for not only just students, but also teachers, and then also you got parents to consider. So if there's anything that we can do to make things better overall, if we were to ever have to do something like this again, or we have students that need it, we want to make sure to make it the best we can. Okay. Our next one is the discussion board for the book club meeting. So again, you're going to read chapter 7 and 8 in your textbook. You're going to complete slide 6 in your template. Again, you're going to complete that template, or you're going to turn it in next week. And then you're going to create a post about the questions on slide 6 for your classmates to view and respond to 2 classmates as it relates to your project and their projects. So looking at the template itself, here is the template for week 7. Again, you want to add this into your template right here where you got these questions. So what fundamentals you're going to have to teach first, student roles for the project, and basically how will that take care of the tasks for the students? How are you assessing student achievement of the goals that you had to start out with? What will your project rubric look like? Again, does not have to be a completed project rubric, but what do you want to measure? And that really goes back to that last question. How are you assessing them? What technology will you incorporate? Again, this is a technology-based assignment. So why is it important for these students to use technology with regards to this? And what aspects of your project promote inquiry and deep learning? Not just enough to give us the information, but to get them to think deeper, more critically, and just be better learners overall. You'll complete that there. You can pretty much copy and paste it as your discussion board, and then you guys respond to it. Okay, so keep in mind, you don't have to recreate a discussion board post based upon something you're answering here. That might save you a little bit of time. Okay, coming back here, then I want you to watch the Google Classroom intro video. And your last assignment this week is to create a Google Classroom. Again, go to classroom.google.com. Make sure that you select that you're a teacher if you don't already have one. You might have to do a different account. What you want to do is you'll click on that plus sign. I believe it's still there as it is. I'm going to check real quick over here because I do have it, and I want to make sure it's the same kind of concept. Yeah, it should be a plus sign where you create a class. Don't put join class. Create a class. If there's something where you don't have access, talk to me. Don't wait till Sunday next week to tell me, oh, I can't create a class. Let me know as soon as possible. Think of a unit that you might teach in a regular classroom. But again, we did that at the very beginning, so don't try to recreate the wheel. Again, we're at the last couple weeks. I just want you to start putting it all together. I don't know why we're over there. Let me make sure. Okay, maybe there's something wrong with my video. Hopefully you're seeing this right here, this screen. But just make sure when you finish putting all that stuff in there, I can't be added to Google Classroom. It just doesn't work that way. Make a quick screencast that highlights those 5 things. I do need to see how it looks on Google Classroom, so make sure that's part of your screencast. You don't have to play the video lesson, but you need to show that it's embedded in there. Again, reach out to me. Don't wait till the last second. Come on Thursday in case we have some issues. We can go through all of that process together. Okay, so these are the assignments for this week. Make sure you get those done. If you have any questions, email me. If you're missing any assignments, and I can't stress this enough, make sure you get those done so that way I can take care of you guys before the end of the term, and hopefully it doesn't affect your grades or financial aid.